All right, this is just my honest take on everything that I'm saying. I really, really think that the reason that we are not finding peace in this life, a lot of us, it comes from one of many different things. It's not just one thing. The first thing I think it comes from, well, I know that it comes from for me. And yet again, this is only for another person to reflect back onto themselves. If they don't want to reflect this, then they're not going to get it. If they're not going to listen to it, then it ain't going to do nothing. It's just a waste of breath. But the first thing that is keeping us from having peace in our lives is denial. And denial comes in many different forms. It's not just one thing. Denial is not just one thing. Denial is a layer cake. It's a cake of layers that people have to understand. And I'm not going to get into every layer. It's denial. That's a lot of the reason we don't have peace is because of denial. Right when something goes on with us, we point the finger right away. We start blaming everybody else. We start projecting everything that we're feeling, everything that we're thinking onto the world instead of back onto ourselves. And then we're not in peace because we're still not dealing with the internalness of ourselves. We're not going inward and searching out and asking ourselves, why am I going through this? What is really the root of why it's going on? But see, I know most people, they will more than likely remain ignorant and they'll stay how they are because of denial. That's another thing. Denial keeps people stuck in their ways. Denial keeps people stuck in their own thinking. This is what denial does. It keeps us stuck in the way we think because right when something comes up where someone or something is attempting to correct us or say, look, don't you think that this might be going on? Or have you looked into this? Are you sure of this before you assume this? Oh no, I'm not listening to that. I'm right. And I know what I'm talking about. And this is how a lot of my own family is. They are very stubborn. They're very stubborn people. They don't want to admit that they're wrong. They always have to be right about stuff. And I'm sorry to say, this is for most people in the world. They have to be right. They can't let their pride down to say, I'm wrong. They can't let go of this denial shit. And then when people are in denial, here's another thing that they do. When they are in denial of what they do not want to change or attempt to solve in their life, they will use all kinds of external things like symbols and ideologies and labels and all these other things to mask what's really going on in their lives. And I am not, listen, see, when you talk about things like this, a lot of people will take this in the wrong way. I am not saying that there's anything wrong with symbols. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with anything. It is in the way that we're using these things, the approach that we go into how we show other people what we mean by what we're doing. And most of the time, we don't even realize how ignorant we really are when we're doing a lot of the things that we're doing. And I am not saying that symbols, it's not symbols. I've already said this before too. Symbols are literally something to make you understand something metaphorically. And then you look at that symbol and say, okay, that symbol has showed me this. Now let me move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But there's some people, they use ideologies, symbology, they use labels, they use categories, they use names, and they're getting stuck there. They're getting stuck in the label, the ideology, the symbol, and they they don't even realize themselves that the people that they're calling ignorant, really, they're the ones that are ignorant. A lot of the times, the people that you hate and you're angered at and you're blaming for your problems and saying, oh, well, it's everybody's fault. It's the world's fault. I hate everybody. I'm angry. Yet again, we are not willing to look internally at what's going on. We're not willing to reflect it back onto ourselves. This is why we can't even look, I can't say the word resolve, but we can't even understand what we're doing because we're not willing to put it back onto ourselves. We're not willing to say that it's me that's doing this to myself. And we just keep blaming everything else. We keep saying it's everybody else, they're doing it, they did it. And look, I even wrote here in my book, I was once, quote, them, no more, because I'm not them anymore, because I'm not thinking like other people. It's like as long as people are not killing, raping, stealing, pillaging, as long as people are staying to themselves, as long as people are not trying to put their shit onto you, I'm just telling you what I know for myself and what I've been through. And I have forced myself to look into all this stuff for myself. And all I'm doing really is reflecting on me. I'm reflecting on myself when I tell other people this. But other people, a lot of us are still projecting everything onto others. We're not willing to look back at ourselves. And then we wonder why we do a lot of what we do and why we say a lot of what we say and why we're getting caught up in a lot of what we're getting caught up in. And I put denial equals not including oneself. That's what denial is. You're not willing to include yourself into something. There's people that constantly, they're like a slippery snake. They're always slipping out of their own hands. They're slipping out of their own hands. It has nothing to do with other people. They're it's the snake slips through their own hands because they don't realize this is like a slithering snake. It's literally like a slithering snake. And we are the snake. We are the demons, like I said. Um they always exclude themselves from everything. They don't look into things for themselves, and right away they have everything in the world to say about something. They have all of these thoughts in their mind that they're thinking that yet again, it's just something that we believed and we're still holding on to because of denial, and we won't let it go. We won't move on to look inwardly at ourselves and say, okay, well, what am I doing here? What is it that I need to look at for me today? What is it that I need to work on today for myself? And look, the reason I did this video is because you know what? I surrender to it all. I surrender to it, man. I know that I cannot do anything for other people. I cannot make people see anything. I cannot make people change. I cannot make people do anything from what they make the choice to do. I care because I care for myself. And it's almost like the more that you care for others and the more that you say things that you've been through and you know better by, and you're actually attempting to help someone, it's almost like it makes them worse because they can't let their pride down. They have to think that they're right about stuff. And then when they have to take it on the head and say, okay, I was wrong, I didn't know. Because it's the one that professes to be wise that became a fool. It's all of this stuff is so relevant in the world today, and most people, they're ignoring it. They're not applying it to their lives, and then they keep going by their own thought structure that has lied to them in the first place. It's tricked you into believing your own thought structure. And most of you are still doing that every day you wake up. You forget, we forget from when someone like me says something because I actually practice this myself. I actually do this myself. I reflect on this all day, every day, all the time, back onto myself. And I actually do care. And when I see other people doing some of the things that they're doing to themselves, it it fucks me up because I see what they're doing to themselves. But I realize I got to let it go because I cannot, that would be me invading on another person and what they were made to be. If I said, well, I want you to think like me, it would be nice if people would think similarly but not like me. And if I say that, then I'm invading on somebody's life. I'm invading on their mind. I'm invading in their privacy. And I'm not somebody that's going to do that. So therefore, I just surrender to it all. I'm not stooping to that level anymore. And see, the people that don't tell themselves this, they're going to keep stooping to that level. They're going to keep getting themselves caught up in the things they're getting caught up in. They're going to keep telling themselves the same stuff every day. And this all comes with denial. It's just denial of the situation we're in. Even though there might be things going on in our life, I understand those things. I understand how people are they don't like to do certain things in life, and there's some things that they got to complain about and talk about. I understand all of that, but I still see a lot of people using all of the things I just said to work against others, but they really don't know that they're working against themselves. They really don't understand that what they're doing, what they're projecting onto the world, all that they're doing is projecting it onto themselves, but they don't know that. They don't realize it. They cannot see it. It's a blockage. It's a mental blockage there. And the only way to get through that mental blockage is to keep telling people about it, is for someone to make the choice to actually absorb information and honesty and to take it on their own head and to say, I messed up. I was wrong. I didn't know something. But there's so few people that will do that because everybody has to be right. Everybody has got to be the one that is, oh, I'm right about everything I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about is the truth. What does that mean, the truth? What does that mean? And there's something that reminds me of something. And I know yet again, this will anger a lot of people because they don't understand when I say the thing when I say something like this, but I don't even want to say it's just when something is said like this, they're not really understanding the metaphorical significance of what it means. But it's just like when Pontius Pilate asked Jesus Christ, what is truth? What is truth? What is truth? He didn't answer. He didn't answer him. He didn't answer. You know why? I'll let you figure that out for yourself. But we always have an answer for something when we really don't know what is actually going on. We just assume right away that we know what's going on. And they might think that I know they say, oh, well, you think you know what you're talking about. And I'm willing to admit to people, may I be in denial myself of certain little tiny things in my life? Yes, I might be. But the little tiny things that I might be in denial of in the back of my mind, I know that I am. I know that I might be. Not I know that I am. I might be. But these are things in my spare time when I'm alone with myself that I have to kind of block that out because I realize it doesn't lead nowhere. It doesn't do anything to me. It's not doing anything but bringing me down. It's not doing anything but getting me in a very bad situation. And there's some things that, even though I'm talking about not being in denial, there are very few things in your private time when you're by yourself in your own solitude that, even though you're confronting it, there has to be something in the back of your mind where you're kind of like, I'm not falling for that. So therefore, I'm saying it's denial, but it's really not denial. I'm calling it denial so that we can have some kind of mid ground here, so that it's not like me talking down upon other people, because yet again, this is just another form of ignorance. If anybody thinks that I am talking down upon them, that means that they're playing the victim. They're saying, "Oh, well, you think you're better than me. You think you're higher than me." And then the reason that we don't have peace either. I'm just transitioning right into the next thing because I don't get stuck on topics. That's not how I do what I do. But another thing is, when we are looking at other people like I'm looking down upon people because they're worse, or I'm better than them, and I know more than them, or I'm looking up to people and, oh, I can't stand you because you think you're better than me, and oh, who do you think you are, high and mighty, or oh, this actor, he's so special, I'm putting him on a pedestal, he's so much better than me, he's so much more talented than me. See, this is all just another form of ignorance. It's just another form of stupidity and idiocy that we're still comparing ourselves to people. And when we compare to other people, we will never be other people. So why are we comparing ourselves to other people? Learn from other people. Listen to other people. Listen to what they have to say, but be willing to discern what you're hearing from them, because most of what they're saying, and it kills me that I have to say this, but most of the time they don't even realize what they're talking about. They don't even understand themselves. If you don't understand yourself through and through, and you don't understand, and you're not exercising your own demons in this life, then you're never going to get it. You're going to go your whole entire life doing what most other people do. And that's just how it is. I mean, listen, like I said before, I'm not giving people a fluff job on this channel, man. Woman, you're not going to get that here. It's just not going to happen with me. And I'm sorry to say this too, but it's only the ones that are keen to what goes on, that actually understand, that can actually discern things, is that even the people that come here and listen to my videos, I'm talking to those people. I'm talking to you. That's who I'm talking to. Because if you don't hear it, then how is anybody else going to hear it? How is anybody else going to know about it if you don't know about it? If I'm just sitting here talking to myself into a phone and on a camera mic, how is anybody else going to know about it? And this is why I know very, very few people, and it kills me to say that again, because yet again, I'm reflecting on myself and I'm seeing that there's just not a lot of people doing this. I look towards others to tell me about these things, but I hardly hear anybody even talking about it. I don't hear anybody discussing this kind of stuff. I hear very few people that I can reflect on and say, they get it. They get it. But even the ones that get it are still ignorant of some things. I even caught on to that. Even people that I listen to, even channels that I watch, I still see some of the things that they're doing and some of the things they're saying. And I realize that they have not yet discovered what they're actually doing. They're still in this stuck mentality. They're still in this way of going by the norm of things. It's just, let me use this example so that people can understand what I mean. And some of you might not understand what I mean. When you have in the world people that do not believe in God, or people that are angry with God, or people that say, look, there is no God. I'm an atheist. There is no God. And they listen to these religious people. They listen to these false people, these false teachers that are using the name of God. They are using the name of Jesus Christ. They are using certain elements to trick and deceive people into thinking that this is God and this is the way that it really is, and this is the gospel, and yet they never even read it for themselves. They never even read the doctrine for themselves, but yet they have everything to say about it because they think that's what it is. Then people are lying to you. They're not telling you the truth about stuff. We have got to look into this stuff for ourselves and discern it in our own time, and stop just telling people what we think we know about it. It's This is what religious people do. They get people that don't believe in God, and I'm just using this as an example. They get people that don't believe in God, people that are not willing to surrender their lives, people that might be angry with God, but really don't realize that they're angry at themselves. Yet again, I said in another video, God is just a reflection of yourself. That's all that it is. When you blame God, you're blaming yourself. When you say, God is the culprit, that means that you're just thinking that in your own mind and you're not willing to self reflect it back onto yourself. That's all that it means for every one of us. And we fall for this stupidity. And then what do? We use labels. We use other ideologies. We just got tricked. We got duped. We got duped into doing something like that. You've got duped. And then we use categories and we use labels and we use these names and we use, yet again, if I already said it, we use symbology to go against another symbol, another symbology. We use a symbol against a symbol. This is what we do. And we don't even see what we're doing. And all that we're doing, we're ignorant of the one and we think we know the one. So we talk about the one. We fight with the one. And this is all ignorance. It's all based upon ignorance, man. And that's why, look, I know that I can't change people's mind on here. I know that I can't change you. I know that I can't make you do anything. I know that I can't make you look into stuff. I know that I can't make another person surrender. I can't do that. And some people would go, well, that's just not for me. And who are you to tell me all these things? Who do you think that you are? Like, who are you? Like, why do you think that I'm going to do that? Well, what is in it for me? Why would I do that for myself? And I can't tell you in a video all this. It's just impossible for me to tell you in a short video. It is a layer cake. It's a cake of layers, but yet most of us were only seeing the top few layers. And we're only going by the top few layers, but we're not seeing all these layers underneath or on top. It has nothing to do with going underneath or on top. It's just we see some of the layers. It's just like a cake that has frosting on it. Most of us see the frosting and we tear off a little piece and we might see the top half of the cake, and we might see the certain layer of cake that we wanted. We wanted the chocolate, but not the vanilla and strawberry. That's just how it is in real life. We're not seeing throughout the whole cake of life. We're only seeing the icing on the cake. And we are the snakes themselves that are slipping through our own hands because we don't understand ourselves. We are the slithering snakes. We are the demons itself, but yet we don't exercise our own demons. We just constantly project our demons onto other people, and we don't project it back onto ourselves. And this is why we're not finding peace, because we're not willing to surrender to ourselves, or we're not willing to surrender unto something other than our thinking and our thoughts and the things that we don't like in this world and the things that we're angry at in this world. And the way I'm saying it, I know it's, my tone of voice. Well, who's gonna surrender if some guy on a phone is talking in this tone of voice? People want to hear it like this. Well, we need to surrender ourselves, and we must stop fighting with ourselves, y'all. See, I can't talk like that, because I think it takes being bold at first for people to you have to first convict somebody of what they're doing. There has to be conviction there for somebody to change, for somebody to repent from the things that they were doing. And it's not this religious repentance I'm talking about. It just means to understand what you're doing and accept what you're doing, what you and I are doing, and to move on from what we're doing. Now, how many of us do that all the time? How many of us practice that or actually do those kinds of things? And I can't make other people do that. As much as I would want for us to kind of do this unto ourselves in our way that we do it, I can't do that. I just cannot do that. That is not in my power. And I don't want that power. I don't want to be I don't want to do that. I just want to be a living testimony unto myself and my own life, because I know that I'm being honest with myself. I don't have to bullshit other people. I don't have to lie to people. I don't have to get on here and use symbols and ideologies and throw up signs and all that. That's just another form of ignorance. That's something that we hide behind. It won't reveal what the root of a thing. It won't bring into light what needs to be brought into light. It's hiding behind something. It's using something as an excuse, or it's blaming something else. It's calling something else ignorant. And oh, my ideology has the answer and yours doesn't. This is not a me versus you thing. See, this is still what we've been tricked into believing, and is that it's a me versus you thing. It's a me against the world thing. And even Tupac said this, me against the world. Well, you know what? Tupac should have wrote me against myself. That's what he should have wrote. It's not me against the world. It's me against myself. And that's for every single one of us here. It's me against myself. There is no world out there. It's just individual people doing individual things, individuals making their own decision. It's just like when somebody goes to court, and how do you justify if there's some mother that had a daughter that was killed by somebody, and when she's killed, the parents want justice. The parents want the man who did that thing. And here, when they catch the guy, oh, thank goodness. I hope he burns in hell. I can't stand him. He needs the death penalty. And then here, when you see the man that did it, it's some mentally retarded guy that did it because he snapped or something. So then what? Is it wrong because a mentally retarded guy did it? A man with mental retardation did it? What justifies our actions? What's justifying what we're doing? Now, I lost train of thought with where I was going with this justification thing. See, to me, I think it's all bogus. All this stuff in court where, oh, this guy, he was mentally insane, or he went psychotic and it was a crime of passion and all this shit. No, that individual made that individual choice. That's the choice they made. There's nothing to justify anything. And see, this is why I myself, I need God. Because I say, look, there's nothing I can do to justify my actions. There's nothing I can do to justify things that I did in this life. And my goodness, I can't justify it. I have no justification. I can't make any excuse. I can't hide behind some symbol or ideology or some reason why I did it, or psychotherapy, or I was mentally retarded or mentally ill. No, no. I made the choice to do it, and I did it, and I take responsibility for it. And yet again, people are going to be people. I just realized that there's just some people that it will not reach. It just will not reach some people, these kinds of things. And they will remain ignorant. And see, here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to end the video with. When you say something like ignorant will remain ignorant, and somebody gets mad because you said that they're ignorant, then what is that saying about that person? They know that they're ignorant. They know there's something that they don't want to change. They don't want to think differently about something. And they remain in their ignorance. And don't they realize that all that they're doing remaining ignorant is they are hurting themselves? They are putting a burden on themselves. They are judging the world and everyone else and blaming them. Right away, it's point the finger. Right away, it's somebody else's fault. Right away, I'm right and they're wrong. Right away, oh no, I know what I'm talking about. See, this is the denial in and of itself. This is what is keeping us from having peace within, because we're not willing to take everything we project onto the world and others. We're not willing to project that back onto us. Us, us, us. Did you ever see the movie Us with Jordan Peele or whatever his name is? I know the guy, I just can't remember his name. Key and Peele. That movie says so much about us, even though it's a very violent movie. It's really violent. We are both people. We are the demons and we are the people. You see, we are both things. There's nothing that can justify any of this. There's no justification for any of it. But yet, are we exercising that demon? Are we looking at both sides of this thing? Are we looking at both sides? Or are we just caught up on one side? See, everybody is either completely negative and just is angry with and doesn't like everything, or they hate life and they're just like, this isn't fair and I can't stand anything. Why was I ever born? All this stuff. They're either there or they're over here. Oh, I'm better than everyone. My shit doesn't stink. My life is together. I'm right about everything. God is on my side. See, these people that boast about this kind of shit and these people that stay down in the dumps, they are both ignorant people. They're not understanding the mid ground. They're not getting this. They're not getting this because they're not willing to look at both things. So they remain ignorant. They remain ignorant. They remain ignorant. I mean, I just don't know what it will take to get through to some people in this life. I really, really don't. And I know how we think. Well, yet again, who are you? Not everybody's like you. Not everybody thinks like you. Not everybody does what I do, how I do what I do. But this is all, it's the principle of what I'm saying. It's the principal facts of what I'm saying. And if we cannot accept that unto ourselves, then we cannot accept ourselves. And we're in denial of ourselves. So, anyway, y'all, have a great day the best way that you know how to do it. Just don't rape, don't kill, don't steal, don't pillage, don't force anything upon anybody. It might seem like I'm forcing this upon people. I'm not forcing this. I am just putting it out there. I am speaking about it. And to those who have an ear, hear these words, and let it resonate in you. And it's not going to resonate with others how it resonates with me. It's not going to be the same way, but the principles are all facts. They are the facts of the matter. It's how we're getting stuck in these things. It's how we're using things against others and ourselves. But do we see this? Or are we still blind to this? Are we in denial of this? That's what it comes down to in our lives. Do we want to keep living this way? Do you want to keep putting this pressure on you? Do you and I want to keep projecting everything onto the world that if we would only project back onto ourselves, we would actually get it and then we could move on and do different things and other things? Now, this video may not seem too peaceful, but when I get off of this video, I will know that my mind it has some peace because I stated the facts. I was brutally honest. I said how things really are. I confronted myself. Cheers to all of us. The good, the bad, the ugly, the right, the wrong, the up, the down, the wise, the clown, the orange, the brown, the city, the town, the smile, the frown. Reflection. Reflection.